Yeah, I know I'm coming on here late, but I had to get through this get this video out the way. We had a great weekend in Boston. I know a lot of people might catch this tomorrow or whatever. But it is tomorrow. But it's a lot of things people been discussing up from the weekend, especially with Keyshawn Davis. We should have already known going into this fight that he was gonna be a big name, especially after he got this win. He was already a big name going into the fight. But a lot of people keep been getting surprised by his performances for some reason. That's the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now. I thought that everybody was a lot more smarter than that when it came to boxing. How are you surprised by Keyshawn Davis, silver medalist, stepping on the gas and doing exactly what he said he would do in boxing? It seemed like a long time ago that he was what's up, Warlock? It seemed like a long time ago that Keyshawn didn't have a belt, didn't it? I said it only take one fight to change things. Yeah, what's up, Warlock Boxing? It only take one fight, man. That's why I never get too high, get too low on these guys. It only take one fight to change everything, to change people's opinions. I love it though. That's what the sport is about. You want to go in there and show people that you're the best. And a lot of guys have been doing that. But the way he came in, it was very impressive. And I'm just going to talk about him first, and then I'll move on to the other fights. But wasn't really surprised by the performance he had. I've always felt like he had the talent to go in there and dismantle anybody. The fact that a lot of people didn't want to discuss his name with a lot of top 135s, the distraction at this point right now, I feel like Andy Cruz, people mentioning him with Andy Cruz, that's not going on right now. But people were mentioning him with Andy Cruz the last couple of years because of the amateur Olympic situation. I think that was blown out of proportion. We're starting to find that out now. This guy's a very good fighter, man. He's not going in there to lay down and let everybody decide how his career is going to go. That was a big time performance by him. And I expect more performances like that from him. Right now, the only person that a lot of people see him competing with right now is top 135s. And one thing I'm hearing is that's surprising to me is a lot of people trying to move him to 140. Now, I'm going to tell y'all why that is funny to me is because we have so much talent in boxing at 140 that mentioning him with a 140 right now just shows that 135 it's about done. 135 is, I would say, a year away from being Abdullah Mason's division, because for Keyshawn not to have many options at 135 after the performance he had, you would think that a lot of guys at 135 would want that fight, calling him out. I haven't seen anything. I'm gonna have to go back and look after I get off of here and do some research. But I haven't heard anybody call him out at 135. I heard a lot of guys talking about him and Duarte's performance, trying to compare those two. Who cares? How about somebody call him out at 135? Y'all guys want a belt? That's why I don't really brag about too many people at 135, because we got guys that have belts spread out all over the place. Recently, we just had guys like Kambosos, Teofimo, Devin Haney. They all had the belts at once, majority of the belts. And now that all the belts are kind of thrown all over the place and you got a better opportunity to get a belt, now we got people talking about go to 140. That division, that 140, that 135 division, it's looking real sad. It's looking real sad right now. I'm telling you. It's looking real sad. We already had Floyd Schofield having to step up this weekend. He's the only guy I've seen that's trying to make something happen. Abdullah Mason, he's another guy. That's why I'm saying his name is getting mentioned. But who else? I know Raymond Murat's in the position to fight for, I want to say, Lomachenko belt. The belt that Lomachenko has. I think he's doing a mandatory for that. As far as the intern for that belt. So he doesn't, it's no reason for him to make too much noise. All he has to do is get up and fight. So I would give him a pass on that one. Because all he has to do is get the belt. But the guys who's not in position, that's why I've been looking at it, and a lot of fans have been focused more so on Keyshawn and Andy Cruz, and they fail to realize that a lot of other guys aren't really stepping up to the plate. And that's a bad situation. You would think that a lot of these people was ready to step up and have a tough fight, but after what they seen over the weekend, they're dismantling. They like, I'm gonna leave Keyshawn Davis alone right now. And that's a good decision. Now you're starting to find out how good he is. The only thing you can do right now is troll him, because Baranchik, I thought he was gonna come to fight. He flew across halfway across the earth to get this mantle, and that was a horrible performance by him. It was bad. And also let me know that I heard people say that Navarrete was decent looking at 135. Bro, he better stay at 130. I think Navarrete needs to stay at 130 for a while. I heard he only has about, I don't know, he's put a number on how many fights he has left, so he might need to stay at 130 right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whatever kind of diet he needs to go into to make sure he stays at 130, please do it, because the only names you can mention with Keyshawn right now is Tank and Lomachenko. People saying Shakur Stevenson. I mean, look, all the talent we have right now. So when I'm hearing from Keyshawn and the Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson thing is, the only options we have for Shakur Stevenson is Tank or even Keyshawn. These guys, they're trying to get a belt. And it's the undisputed or unifications. It looks like long shots right now until it actually happens. I wouldn't get too enthusiastic about unification at 135 until it happens. I know a lot of people begging for it. Man, these dudes want to fight, they can fight. Everybody ain't got to be unified champion. If you look back in history, everybody is not unified. It's the reason why. It's not as, I know Terrence Crawford makes it look easy getting these undisputed matches and fights, but it ain't as easy as everybody thinks. You can easily go in there and slip up. So now with Keyshawn developing, getting stronger, bigger at 135, it's becoming more of a threat as each fight goes by. That's just the way it goes, man. That's the way boxing goes. But we're going to see over the next couple of months who really wants to get in the ring with him, because I've been telling people for months and months. I know it started last year. I started doing videos when I see him get trolled after the failed drug test last year as far as the weed or whatever, and people were making fun of him then. I was like, that's crazy. I can't believe it's gotten to a point where this guy's getting trolled after a win. There was a no contest after a win because, I don't know, maybe because he talks, his ego, or, I mean, he's proven why he got an ego. He got the skills to back it up. Everybody in boxing has an ego. That's how you get to the top level. If you got the talent to back it up, why not? Everybody else is talking. He basically has the same kind of attitude as any other fighter. From what I've seen, Ryan Garcia is more cocky than Keyshawn. He got stopped by Tank Davis badly. So until that happens to Keyshawn, yeah, he needs to be talking just as much as these other guys. I'm not gonna put a limitation on how much somebody can talk. If these other guys want to talk, they better start making the fights happen. Cause right now, Keyshawn just became a champion before Ryan Garcia did. That's what happens when you don't make weight. So that's another person who became champion before him. How many more will it be? Oh yeah, they're trying to make him a champion with this Rolly fight, so that's gonna happen. But I heard Oscar De La Hoya talking about Oscar Duarte and Keyshawn. I don't know if I want to discuss that right now because I got something that I seen what he was talking about, and I might turn that into a video later on when I get off of here. But Duarte, he hasn't surprised me. If you've seen my channel before, I've definitely not stopped posting about him because he's the real deal, even after the Ryan Garcia fight. And that makes you want to look at that fight a lot more differently now. I know I have been. I've dropped plenty of videos about why that fight just looks weird, and the better that Duarte performs, the more and more he goes out there and performs at a high level, that fight looks a lot more weird. Just to be honest with you, y'all know how I do on this channel. I don't sugarcoat it. That fight looks weird. I'm talking about he going out here performing like that and he got stopped by a body shot. I mean, what was he in there with? Like, seriously. That's what I'm wondering. What was Duarte in the ring with when he fought Ryan? When he got stopped with that body shot? We're going to find out over the next couple of years if that was a legit win or not. I'll just say that. Because I knew he wasn't a terrible fighter and a bum. That definitely was something I didn't think he was. I knew he was going to be able to bounce back. Dude's training at a high level. Trained by Robert Garcia. Moved up from 35 to 40, sometimes moving up in weight classes. Another Golden Boy fighter who's moved up in weight. That's helped him and benefited him. At 140, Madiano was a good opponent. Regis Prograis would have been a good opponent as well, but Madiano, he was the same, formidable opponent. So I thought he went out there and gave a good performance, but he didn't have enough. He looked good for the rounds he was in there, but he didn't have enough. It was a tough fight. And Duarte, he went in there he means business. I like his style. For some reason, he doesn't fight the same as Pitbull Cruz, but he still got that same kind of fire. Like, he'll fight anybody. That's kind of like the fighters I like. I like people who's undefeated, but that don't mean everything to me. I like people who go in there and fight anybody, anytime. And he's been on a run lately. Been fighting some good opponents too. Ever since that Jojo Diaz fight, he's been getting it done. So 140 is a very good weight class. And I'm hearing people asking fighters to jump from 35 to 40. I mean, if I'm a fighter, why would I go to 140 and I got Tank Davis at 35? I'm not finna. What? Are you serious? I keep hearing stuff like that. It's the same thing that happened with the Canelo situation. I keep hearing fans ask people to move away from Tank. Like, don't fight at 35, go to 40. Why would Keyshawn Davis go to 140 right now and not fight Tank Davis? Doesn't make any sense. He just got a belt. And when you want him to drop it? I don't know if these people have been watching boxing a long time. Or maybe they just... that's something I don't understand. Why would the man get a belt at 135 and just drop it to go to 40 for nothing? Man worked his whole life to get a belt. And he's going to drop it after one fight? I hope that's not the future of boxing the way people are thinking. Because if so, we're never going to see any unifications of big matches. That's why we got to make the point of it being that a lot of these fights are not easy to have. These are not easy fights to have when you're doing unifications and undisputed fights. They're very hard to put together. Everybody got to be on the same page still to this point. A lot of people aren't. Even with promoters and things working together, you still got certain guys stepping in the way. But speaking of 135, and people, I heard. Hold on, one more thing. I heard people comparing the performances of Duarte and Keyshawn Davis fighting the same guy. If we want to compare somebody with the same opponent performances, we need to be comparing Roland Romero and Abdullah Mason fighting the same guy. Guaranteed until you see it. And the fact that he went out there and did it, that should be another thing people should be talking about. Abdullah Mason is definitely getting overlooked when it comes to those type of fights. Yeah, he's definitely getting overlooked. I thought he was putting on some good performances. I thought he was putting together some excellent performances, man. I really did. Maybe that's something they didn't expect, but I thought he was putting together some good performances. People definitely were overlooking his performance over the weekend, but he came out to fight. No matter what people say, he came to get the job done. That fight he had this weekend was just amazing. And for him to be young and moving like this, depending on what happens with Floyd Schofield this weekend, that's somebody he needs to be looking towards in the future to try to fight. Eventually. If he wants to move along in the sport, I think they're gonna cross paths eventually, but he needs to try to make that fight. Abdullah Mason is not a joke, man. I'm telling you, he's one, and I know a lot of people were having criticism about him as far as him being too aggressive and everything else. Hey, man, I've never heard. You know, it's funny. I've never seen so many people complain about someone getting a knockout before. I just never seen it before. First, it was about getting a knockout. Now you got to get the knockout a certain way. Just let him go out there and perform, man. He'll show you what he's bringing to the table. That's how I see it. If he goes out there and fight at a high level, gets a knockout, that's all that matters. But now people are being picky as far as how you get the knockout and if you're boxing and why you're not boxing instead of getting a knockout. Trust me, if he can get a knockout against good competition, that says a lot. And that was a guy who, like I said, man, I thought Rolly was gonna be able to go in there and possibly get a stop. Madiano is not a he's not an easy fight. Yeah, he's not an easy fight at all. Definitely not an easy fight. But that would have been a good fight for Abdullah Mason. Yeah, that would have been a good fight. But I like the performance he had going on. But yeah, it was some good performances I seen this weekend. Kenneth Sims looked good in this fight. I think he did a good job over the weekend, man. Kenneth Sims did an excellent job in his fight. He was doing a real good job from what I seen. So everything's starting to come together good, man. Everybody putting on their best performance right now. Everybody putting together their best performance. Everybody putting together their best performance. But Abdullah Mason, telling you right now, all these other guys taking their time, dragging their feet. He's making me a fan, more of a fan than all these guys. See, the only thing I'm looking for is who gonna step up and actually fight the best. I don't care about all that other stuff, tickets and views and everything. That's cool. But if you fighting the best and fighting the best competition that's available, especially at a young age, that's what I'm looking for. I expect him to be at 135 making noise very soon for a long time until he gets to 140. But too many people trying to rush these fighters to 140. Man, just let them handle their business. You got Barbosa, 32 years old. He trying to get his first opportunity at a title fight. So just imagine how long he's been waiting. So we expect, what, 4 or 5 guys to come to 140 and just leapfrog all of those guys? I mean, it could happen, but none of those fights gonna come sooner. What is a whole bunch of guys from 135 who a division that's not fighting each other that much? Because Keyshawn, he's making that division a lot more, exciting because he's stepping into the picture and he's a lot better than what people expected. Now the pressure is gonna be put on Andy Cruz. Fighters like him. We're going to see how long De Los Santos is going to be at 35. He was talking about 40 recently. You got Raymond Muritai at 35. You got Abdullah Mason making some noise right now. You got Schofield coming up this weekend. So 35, if it's able to shape itself, it's going to be good. But if not, it's going to be a division that just has a lot of talent that ended up moving to 140 and doing the same thing they did at 135. It's time for everybody to separate themselves. Everybody's not going to be at the top. And you're not going to get the same kind of viewership that you would fighting the top name. And if it's 3 or 4 guys that's fighting top names in your division or the best competition, and then you're just sitting back waiting on these guys to beat each other, that's not going to be good either. You still going to get forgotten. You still will get forgotten. I think the sitting back and waiting on other people to fight, that's going to be something that's going to hurt a lot of careers. Right now, Zepeda in that situation. Look how fast people forgot about Zepeda. Just 6 months ago, Zepeda was the go-to guy. Now they treat him like he a prospect. He's one of the oldest guys at 135. I mean, the way Zepeda looked in his last fight, even if Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn lead the division, hey, I give Abdullah Mason a good chance to go in there and do something. To be honest with you, I really do. Zepeda talking about he was struggling with that style last time. Man, this dude's like 28, 29. He's still trying to get comfortable with the fighting the American style because he hasn't And that's something he told on himself about. He hasn't fought a lot of American styles. So that's why he's running the fight back with Tevin Farmer. Yeah, he's 28. He's going to be 29 in June. He's like, yeah, I haven't fought that many American styles, so that's something I got to get used to. Well, you better hurry up. You trying to fight people you should have been fighting 5 years ago. You better hurry up. Because you're going to be in the background for a long time if you don't make yourself known right now. And Tevin Farmer, if he can really get the judges' decision, maybe they'll start using AI judging in his fight. Hold on, I thought did they have AI judging? No, I don't think they had AI judging when Zepeda and Tevin Farmer fought. If they would have had AI judging in that fight, yeah, he wouldn't have got the score on that one. That wasn't a good performance. You know it's a bad performance when people don't even discuss you no more. But also I want to talk about another Friday night fight in Xander Zayas. I thought he looked good in his fight. That guy's young at 54. Looks like he wants to smoke with anybody. I thought the guy Sparmer he fought was a good opponent. A lot of people from Germany thought that he was going to be able to come out and get the win. I mean, he did some good things in that fight, but getting out jabbed and not really being able to counter and adapt throughout the fight was not a good sign for him. Not really a lot of head movement. He was successful with the right hook against Zayas, but I don't think it was enough to make a difference early in the fight. That's why he struggled later on. But Xander Zayas did a good job in that fight, though. Real good job. And like I said, most of these guys is young. Bob Arum got a lot of young talent over there. He's stacking up. And these guys are not like the young talent you've seen before where they're going to do a lot of developing. And I think they're going to start to move fast with a lot of these guys. You can't help it. It's going to be hard to hold them back with the way that they are performing against this tough competition. And I'm glad too, because it shows that a lot of these fighters that people have been struggling with, that's fighting in title fights, that they're not as advanced as they should be skill-wise. I'll give an example. Right now, we have Teofimo trying to make adjustments after struggling in his last couple of fights. It's not a good time for him and Zepeda to be out here trying to adjust and make adjustments and get better in the gym. You can always get better, but you talking like you're a finished product right now. Once you come, I ain't trying to hear nothing about no adjusting anything. Definitely not trying to hear it. People saying Teofimo needs to fight Keyshawn and he's gonna be a huge threat. Like I said, these guys like Xander Zayas, you ain't gotta wait on them to ask them for a fight. It's gonna be a different generation coming up. I had made some videos about that 2 years ago. Well, I haven't been on there that long, a year and a half ago. Let me stop the cap. A year and a half ago when I first started this channel, I had a picture of Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis. Let me pull it up real quick. Very old video. And I said, you know, the young guys, they're gonna start taking over in a minute. And see if I can find it. But I said the young guys, they're gonna start taking over in a minute. And this is what they're doing. They are not waiting around. Let me find this video real quick. But this was a warning, and I had Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson up here. This is when people were talking about Andy Cruz. Oh, here it goes. Let me show y'all the picture of this. This is why I'm laughing at these people right now. Like, y'all just catching on. And they got one view. Look at God. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I be loving when I see a video on one view, bro. I'm different. I mean, everybody ain't thinking like I'm thinking. Yep, there we go. Let me pull this up real quick. Show y'all guys the video I had did. This is August 31st. Y'all know how I get down. I bring August 31st, 2023. What does that say? New era. 2020 boxers aren't ducking anything, but 2010 boxers are business only. And it says we ain't waiting like the old school. So everything that happened with Keyshawn and them this weekend and these new boxers, this ain't nothing I'm surprised by. I'm telling y'all. When you study the game like that, you know what time it is. And this is before Turki Al-Sheikh jumped in the mix. So this was gonna happen with these fights is going on with like Keyshawn, Abdullah Mason. This ain't no Turki Al-Sheikh fights is going on. They don't really need it to ask him for anything. But August 31st, 2023. So this is before Charlo fought Canelo. 2020 boxers aren't ducking anything, but 2010 boxers are business only. And look who's up there. Keyshawn Davis, who everybody said was ducking Frank Martin. Not Frank Martin, but Andy Cruz. And this is when Shakur Stevenson was about to fight Frank Martin, but it didn't happen. And now everybody said these guys should fight each other. Man, it's about 30 boxers that can fight these guys right now. That's good talent. But I think a lot of people aren't really looking at it that way because they're not mentioning all the guys that was mentioned last year. Everybody jumped off the Williams and Pater bandwagon quick. They jumped off the bandwagon quick. Now they looking towards 140. I'm like, that's why I said 135. I quit on it last year. I just handed off to Abdullah Mason at this point. Keyshawn, he gonna have fights, but ain't nobody trying to call him out. Man, if guys were serious, they would have called him out all weekend. I mean, look at the publicity you could have got. The only person I've heard calling out Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson is Tito Machado, but he at 140. And he's 23, and he was just a prospect like 12 months ago. Or 18 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. But that's going to be a stretch. Xander Zayas, he in the mix as well, so he's one of those guys. But all of them are not playing. It's a different era now. And you notice how we're talking about fighters that we haven't been talking about? Well, I've been talking about these guys, but you notice how everybody's talking about different fighters they haven't been talking about after one performance? The nerve of these fans. And we only had just one weekend of boxing. Just imagine in 4 or 5 weeks how many names people are going to be bringing up. I think people are starting to forget now and start forgetting to notice that this is a different era. You don't got to ask these guys to fight anybody. They're going to make it happen. That's why I'm sitting back, man. You're not going to see me. I mean, I'll talk about it, but you're not going to see me having to ask anybody to fight anybody. They're going to get in the ring. I don't have to ask Keyshawn Davis, hey, man, you going to fight this guy? He's going to fight him. Who cares? Abdullah Mason, I ain't got to ask him that. Xander Zayas, don't have to ask him that. That's going to be a good problem for Bob Arum. I know he's pretty much enjoying that because now he's getting away from I got to make a Pacific fight for Teofimo. That's why he's ready to get away from him. He just wants to get that belt off of Teofimo and move on. At this point, he probably doesn't even care if Arnold Barbosa gets it. And speaking of Arnold Barbosa, I heard people saying, why is Keyshawn and Arnold Barbosa, not Keyshawn, but Arnold Barbosa and Teofimo not happening? Because if people haven't heard me say this last year, I'm gonna say it now. Arnold Barbosa is a bad style matchup for Teofimo Lopez. What's up, Alpal? He is a bad style matchup for Teofimo Lopez. Arnold Barbosa fights similar to Kambosos. If people don't understand what I'm saying, then I will explain. He is stronger. He has longer arms. He's slightly quicker. And he's like similar counterpuncher to Kambosos. And that's what's going to cause problems with Teofimo. If that fight is next, I heard Barbosa either try and look at Richard Hitchens or Teofimo, but Teofimo's gonna have some hard times if he gets in the ring with Arnold Barbosa. He's not an easy fight. Very bad style matchup, I'm telling y'all. And Barbosa been calling him out since last year. Kambosa's been trying to get a rematch for a while now. He's at 140. But that's a tough fight for Teofimo. I'm just being honest. A lot of people didn't think that Barbosa would get Catterall this weekend. But if you seen in my preview, I told you. His arm reach was good. And he's a good counterpuncher. And Catterall has really slowed down in the middle rounds and late rounds, the last couple of fights. I don't know if that's a weight issue. Might need to think about going to 47. Just not as strong, as quick as he used to be at that weight class. I think the weight's starting to catch up to him. Barbosa was having his way in the ring, though. Very comfortable, very patient. When he's not the favorite, when he's an underdog going into a fight or overlooked, that's when he's at his best. Like he said in the post-fight interview, I've been an underdog my whole life. That's the role that he likes to be at. That's the place where he likes to be at. That's where he's comfortable. That's where he performs his best. And Teofimo definitely would struggle against Barbosa. I'm telling y'all, horrible matchup for him. He's better off fighting somebody who's aggressive, like Steve Claggett or something. But a guy who's a counterpuncher and has long arms like that, it's gonna be hard. Oh, you did? Oh, okay. That's what's up. Said they made fights together. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that's cool. You talking about the amateurs or the pros? They made fights together in the pros, amateurs? Yeah, Barbosa, man, he shows out. He definitely one of the fighters I like at 140. I know he had that bad performance. Oh, okay. Yeah, Barbosa, he decent, man. He get the job done. Definitely overlooked. Oh, okay. It was on the same cards in the pros. Oh wow, that's cool. But yeah, I like this performance. I definitely was leaning towards him for the Catterall fight this weekend. I know a lot of people give him a tough time for that Sean Newcomb fight last year. Sean McCone, I mean. Keep saying Newcomb. Sean McCone fight last year, but hold on, was it Newcomb or McCone? I might be right. But he struggled against that guy. But I think he did too much trying to go into that fight and prepare for two opponents. And that definitely backfired. Yes, McCone, I'm tripping. Yeah, McCone. He struggled in that fight. But McCone is like 6'1". Usually guys at that weight class. T.O. Yeah, he always getting T.O. always getting slapped up outside the ring. Yeah, T.O.'s always getting slapped up outside the ring. I heard a lot of people crying about him this weekend, like, oh man, he does a lot of racist stuff. Man, he been doing that. Wake up. I think they were just saying that because he was yeah, T.O. he ain't trying to make nothing happen. He ain't trying to make nothing happen. I see him trying to work with Freddie Roach or something like that soon. He jumping from trainer to trainer right now. See, it's too late in the game for T.O. He can get with as many trainers as he want, but it's too late in the game. I think he's on the outside looking in right now. He has too many guys at 140 that already beat him up. Sandor Martin finna have a belt. I'm telling you, Bob finna set this guy out for. He finna set T.O. for the okie doke. He finna run him out of 140. He's not good right now to get past that 147. I just don't believe in that. Bob Arum will end up running him out of 140. If Sandor Martin get a belt in 2 weeks, he's done. He doesn't want to fight Sandor Martin again. And he doesn't want to fight Kambosos again, so he's going to be in a bad position. I told people it's going to be a time limit on Teofimo. The dude's career is like 3 or 4 years life expectancy right now. He would be lucky if he's still around in 4 years. And I'm not saying that because I just hate him so much that I just want him to last 4 years and be gone. Nah, he can't do the same thing he's been doing the past 3 or 4 years and try to jump in the ring. He's been looking bad. He's gotten a lot of passes for the performances he had last year. Jermaine Ortiz, Steve Claggett, he looked bad in those fights. Any other fighter would have had those performances, they would have been calling him out. And then people give Barbosa a hard time. Bro, Barbosa, I can make an argument that Barbosa, the fight that people say Barbosa lost, he looked better than T.O. did against Claggett and Jermaine Ortiz. I can definitely make an argument about that. And Jermaine Ortiz still at 140. That weight class is loaded. So yeah, the wall's closing in on a lot of these guys. The talking, it's over with. Anybody that's talking still this year, trying to hype up a fight, they don't know what's going on. Any boxer still trying to promote themselves and hype each other up, it's too late for all that. You ain't really gotta do that. That's why Keyshawn, I don't think he's gonna be doing too much of that. I mean, he will call somebody out if he wants to make a unification or something, but he doesn't need to be in a position where he's calling anybody else out. Once you have a belt, if other guys have a belt, they can unify. If not, people don't want to fight. But this is the perfect opportunity for anybody that 135 spot to be asking for a fight. But everybody has a fight lined up. But the walls are definitely closing in on him, man. He ain't gonna have the same energy for a lot of people. I can see that right now. Yeah, that kind of stood out to me though. I forgot about Barbosa and Teofimo. That's a fight I wanted to see last year. But yeah, people were asking why he doesn't want to fight him. Style matchup, counterpuncher, long arms, T.O. got very short arms. Built like Steve Claggett. I mean, not Steve Claggett, but he's built like Catterall. The same way people see Catterall right there in the picture. Teofimo's built the same way. You can look up the picture right now of Teofimo. Arms aren't that long. And he's not jabbing. Man, he's bound to get dropped with a check hook or something. He's bound to get dropped. He ain't jabbing no more. And I don't think training with certain trainers is going to give his confidence back to start jabbing. Because the guys he's working with aren't really people who are just focused on teaching you to jab. When I seen him working with Canelo, he wasn't working with him to fix his jab or, he's trying to fight in the inside like him. Or throw hooks to the body. I mean, he's already doing that. How far is that going to get him? We have guys that's complete boxers now in boxing. Everybody's most people are complete all-around boxers, especially the guys that fought this weekend. They can fight any style. That's why a lot of people are outdated right now. It's a lot of people getting exposed, man. I'm telling you. It's a lot of people looking bad. A lot of people. And then one thing I did tell people recently was about Jared Anderson. I tried to warn everybody about Jared Anderson. And the reason I'm going to bring this up is going to be a good reason. Jared Anderson is a heavyweight people have been hyping for the last few years. Now, dude is like 24 right now. He's a heavyweight people have been hyping up. Bro, you cannot hype up a heavyweight before these guys are ready. People try to turn into a Dubois situation. Dude has not been fighting people his size that long. Even the guy he fought this weekend was one of the biggest guys he's fought. I heard some matchmakers going in on him. Then they deleted the tweets. That's bad news, bro. You got dudes who putting your fights together talking bad about you. Man, that's bad. Once you have guys who putting your fights together talking bad about you, man, they'll try to get you beat eventually. But I told everybody, man, he's still a prospect in my eyes. And that's not a diss. That's not a diss. I think Richard Torres is younger than he is. Older than he is. And they look at Torres as a prospect. And he's an Olympian. So you got to really think about it. They look at Torres as a prospect. So Jared Anderson, he's definitely in that same category. Telling you, man. Hyping a prospect up to fight the big heavyweights, especially with him not fighting guys who's that big. He fought Bacoli, did a good job in 1 or 2 rounds. But now he has a problem with his confidence. You getting upset because you ain't getting the knockdowns or knockouts. You fighting people your size now. A lot of heavyweights have been getting away with not fighting people their size. That's why that's why I laugh at people that sit up here and judge other heavyweights that look bad. From Dubois, all these guys. Like, they've been fighting guys their size most of their career or bigger. The heavyweights that haven't, I'm going to tell y'all a secret. The heavyweights that haven't been fighting guys their size, they looking bad right now. Struggling. Jared Anderson, first time fighting a guy that was bigger than him was Bacoli. I think Charles Martin possibly was, but Charles Martin was late replacement. And he even rocked him in the last round when he started letting his hands go. He was rusty. If he would have had some, some extra time and a tune-up before that fight, might have been a different fight. But rushing the heavyweight, people like, man, why not, man? Y'all don't want to see these guys fight? Just go ahead and make the fight happen. It's not that we don't want to see these guys fight. It's that these guys aren't ready. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Now Jared Anderson out here, they're rushing to a situation where people looking at him like a contender. Now people are saying, man, he look like he done. He need to retire. A lot of people say he needs to retire after this weekend, after a win. That just shows you how high they tried to hype him. They tried to compare him with Deontay Wilder. Just disrespect, man. But I like it because that makes these other guys got to prove themselves. A lot of fighters, when they call these guys out, they got to live up to that hype. These fans, y'all gonna learn to stop saying people are ducking people and they'll knock this guy out. You're gonna destroy half of these boxers like that. Because they start to believe in what the fans saying. The fans can't go in there and fight for you. That resume don't lie. When I'm sitting around here looking at guys on your resume at 220 and 5'11", 220, that ain't no heavyweight. You going from fighting a guy who's 5'11", 220, now you fighting a guy who's 6'4", 280. Then the last fight he had, I bet the last guy that Jared Anderson fought was at least the top 3 biggest guy he done fought so far in his career. Gotta be. Oh, he's 25 now. Ooh, that's a bad look, dog. Let me see. Yeah, the guy about 6'3". As far as the weight, no. As far as the height, yeah. Yeah, that guy's about top 3. Yeah, he's one of the biggest guys he faced so far. I'd agree. He's a tough fighter, too. I knew he was going to be a tough fighter going into the fight. Tough fighter, too, man. And that shows that you haven't fought a lot of styles. Bro, this dude better get it on. He better get on point. We might not see him in another tough fight till 2027. If he doesn't pick it up soon, we might not see this guy in a tough fight till 2027, to be honest with you. I think it actually might be that long. Because the confidence ain't there, man. You in the last round and like, oh, man. Coach is talking to you. You like, man. Bro, the only thing that can change is the right hand. Go out there, throw the right hand, make something happen. Let your hands fly. You smothering your punches. I'm like, man, this looks sloppy. But he got a good coach though. I think his coach doing a good job. Sugar Hill went out there and ruined him. Now he trying to get back on board. The coach he got right now, I think he's good. It ain't the coach's problem though. I definitely don't think it's the coach's fault. His trainer right now, it's not his fault. He got to make it happen. ASAP. If he does it, he's going to get passed up. And there's more and more competition coming in at heavyweight each day. And it's the same dude that's talking about everybody wanted Joseph Parker to lose. And, everybody praying on Joseph Parker downfall, my brother. Bro, everybody was laughing at you after a win this weekend. They praying on your dog downfall. Joseph Parker don't need nobody to pat him on the back. And I ain't see Joseph Parker put out no messages this weekend talking about Jared Anderson. He don't need you to pat him on the back. At all. These dudes be having it twisted, man. They really think these fighters be out here thinking about that. These dudes. Look, Joseph Parker ain't sent no messages out. He ain't said nothing about Jared Anderson that weekend. He focusing on his fight. That's what I'm saying, man. These dudes, they gonna understand. Ain't no friends in boxing. You better figure it out on your own. Once you lose and everything, everybody jumping out the bandwagon. That's a fact. Once you lose, everybody jumping on the bandwagon. Don't let these guys hype you up. That's all I've been seeing. A lot of hype. And no real fight. All hype and no real fights. That's all I've been seeing. I mean, they better figure it out soon, man. Straight hype. I mean, the guys that been getting hyped up, we ain't even hearing their names right now. Like Powell, Aldo Powell talking about T.O. earlier. This dude done got offered every fight in boxing. It's time to quit on him until he figure it out. I don't care if he got a belt or not. I done seen a lot of people get disrespected who got a belt. They don't mean nothing. It's time to quit on him. He done got every chance in the book to right his wrongs. He done got plenty of opportunities after sloppy performances. Right now, top rank looking at Jared Anderson the same way because he already went over there in Riyadh season when they really didn't want him to fight over there. Everybody looking at him like damaged goods right now. I just think he need to get his confidence back and get things back in order. The only way you can take your frustration out is in the ring. It's going to be hard to go in there with high expectations as a heavyweight. Very hard. Everybody ain't built the same. Everybody's not Dubois. Everybody ain't Joseph Parker. This is where the men separate themselves from the boys. That's definitely happening right now. I'm telling you, as a boxer, forget what these fans talking about. Because if he would have fought Zhang, it would have been the same result. I wouldn't even stick him in the ring with Wilder right now. Are you crazy? After what I seen this weekend, man, y'all know y'all getting out of hand for that. Y'all know y'all done got out of hand with that one. I knew it when they said, I said, man, they gonna get this dude beat, man. And then dude was talking like he was mad and stuff. Like, man, they thought Joseph Parker was gonna lose. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Why are you so mad about that? Dude, you an American, you out here. I'm like, man. And I still support him in his last fight. He got, not the Bacoli fight, he got beat down. I'm like, man, this the dude who been talking? It's time to play the background. I'm gonna be real with you. Definitely time to play the background. It's easy to talk when you're winning, when you're on top, and when you're looking good in fights. But me personally, I ain't think he been looking too good in any fights. That's why I'm trying to see where all the hype from. I guess because he's a specimen, but I don't think he's in a tip-top shape to even be hyped up that way. When you're a heavyweight, man, you got to be built like your body ain't not gonna lie, especially at heavyweight. You gonna know when a guy really in good shape. You can't lie about the training. See, when Jared Anderson come in looking like the boy like that, then I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, Jared Anderson, he in the gym, boy. But you ain't looking like that though. And I'm gonna say he's a lot more physically gifted than Daniel Dubois. Physically. I think physically he's a lot more gifted than Daniel Dubois. But he gotta work on his body though. He gotta work on his body a lot more, bro. That ain't it. This is a dad bod, man. For real. Like a basketball player. He said, I have the zone. Can I just watch? I already have, or do I have to order it separately? From what I've heard, it looks like you probably have to order it separately. From what I heard, I think you have to order it separately, but let me go ahead and check real quick so I can double check. Might have to do a video for that too. They said how to watch. Here it goes right here. Pull it up for you. Looks like they're making you pay. Dang. There it goes right here. I think they're making them pay for it on the zone. What's up, Rush? I guess it's gonna be for 25. Yeah, I go ahead and do a video for that so everybody know. Seems like they're making everybody pay 25, 19 if you're in the UK, 19 euros. But then when you go over here, it says pay in. Hold on, it says you pay a monthly. I don't know. I think you pay with the subscription. From what I seen, it looks like the subscription should be good. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it says the app. So if you're trying to buy it. Yeah, when you click on buy now, yeah, the monthly subscription, that's what it's saying. I think 6. Let me see. It's saying 26 on the app when you go in there. I think they make you pay 26 with the app, which is crazy. App 30 and then this is 26. I think they make you paying 26 with the app. Yeah, man, the zone tripping. Yeah, they tripping. We'll figure it out though. Hopefully, you ain't gotta do it. The membership. I'm gonna try to figure it out by tomorrow. I'm gonna do some research. Yeah, we're gonna do some research. I'm gonna figure out by tomorrow. 25 on top of the 26 on top of the 30. They saying it's 26 on top of the $30. So that'll be 55. What, 56? Yeah, that sucks. I'm not gonna lie. They would have had it $10, man. Everybody would have bought it. It's a good fight card though. But man, you got that fight coming up. Just had Benavidez. If you add that up, how much is that in a month? Let me see. Yeah, you're right about that. Let me look at this. Just had 26. Then 30. Then the other cards is 80. Then you got Tank coming up. That's 80. 160. Dang, bro, that's like $210 for 3 fights. Dang, they need to all get to the zone on one app, man. Yeah, I thought we was buying the app so we didn't have to pay all that, man. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel you, dog. 210 for 3 fights? Cause what, Tank fight March 1st? That's still gonna be within 30 days. Cause you know February ends early. Man, ain't nobody trying to pay all that, man. February a rough month. People gotta pay taxes and everything. 210 add up. Man, that's a lot of bread. They should have at least made a couple of these free. I know they had the one fight free, but it would have been nice if they made this one free. You know, Turkey already paying these guys. Man, the zone out here eating, man. I know they lowered the flat price recently, but man, come on. Yeah, everybody still. I know they lowered the price, but you know, everybody still can't at a certain point. It's hard to pay for a pay-per-view every month, just to be real. Especially when you got all these apps going on now. Cause the Zone not the only app that everybody's paying for. People have other apps they pay for, ESPN Plus, and you know they got the Amazon thing coming up, which they just had. One fight's gonna be another one. Yeah, that stuff add up. It's still cheaper than usual, but it's not good. Well, it's not the best it could be in my mind. They dropped it to $10. Yeah, because you're already paying for the app. Paying for the app, drop it to $10. People will pay for it, $10. I'm telling you, if they had me in charge, I would have it at $10. You already have people worldwide paying for the zone, but you'll definitely have a couple million people tune in. But that price point is, yeah, people gonna be, they gonna be pulling out the fire sticks. That's always gonna happen. Yeah, that was crazy, man, because they was charging that much when I first got the Zone app. And I'm like, man, it's not even that many fights on here. And I was paying for some weak fights, man. I was paying for like some stuff when Munguia was fighting on. When Bivol and Munguia first start fighting on the Zone. It was some weak fights on there. Yeah, they gotta understand we've been paying for these for a while now. Oh yeah, I missed your thing about Richard Torres. He need to work on his defense. He isn't able to. Yeah, he needs to work on his defense a lot, man. I don't like his movement that much. He's for his size, he seems a little stiff, don't he? Seems a little stiff. I think a lot of these guys gotta work on their body though. They gotta get in the gym. Like Jerry Anderson's body right here, bro. This ain't it for me. I can't believe in this. Cause even Danny Dubois worked on his physique. And this ain't for looks too. I'm talking about as far as, come on, man, you ain't got no definition at all in your body. I'm talking about you ain't got no definition at all. You ain't gotta be in the best shape though as a heavyweight, but it just shows what kind of shape you're in though. Yeah, it just shows what kind of shape you're in more than anything. Zhang and Dubois, I don't think he gonna make it to Zhang. They gonna let Zhang retire. But Dubois, yeah. Shoot, Moses. Shoot, Moses is gonna be out here. Jerry Anderson messing around, he get embarrassed by that dude. Moses Atama. Shoot, he go out there with Moses. Moses gonna end up embarrassing him. Him and Torres, they better figure it out. He was talking about Joseph Parker being his homeboy or whatever. I don't know. Joseph Parker got a new homeboy now. You talking about Joseph? Yeah, that's my brother. Yeah, all Moses got to do is work on his body. That's all he got to do. He about 20 years old. He got the same physique as Jerry Anderson. Same power. Probably more. Yeah, it's some short heavyweights that get it done though. You know, you just gotta have that dog in you. I don't know what Chisora was saying recently. Americans don't have that dog in them. Bro, you ain't got that dog in you. What you talking about? You act like you find some killers out here. Stop it. And I picked you to win your last fight. They had Chisora getting beat against Otto Wale in his last fight. He was the underdog. Some guys ain't got no dog in them. What's the guy that fought Joshua from America? I forgot his name already. Oh, Jermaine Franklin. I told Jermaine Franklin. He's 6'3". See, he a big dude, man. He ain't no small guy. They didn't get Jermaine Franklin back in the ring, too. He been out too long. They need to get him back in the ring ASAP. I don't know what Selena Promotions doing, but they need to get him back in the ring. Yeah, I thought. But yeah, Jerry Anderson, he got to get to work, bro. That dude Moses, he definitely trying to push all these dudes out of the division. But yeah, I don't like his definition, man, for real. Definitely got to work on his physique a little bit more. Because the way he's moving slow and stuff, that's not going to happen. You ain't going to get to being the best fighting that slow. He looked so slow this weekend. To be that young and to be that light, way too slow. He moved like he's 300 pounds. Yeah, coming in any kind of weight, that's the best thing to do. But yeah, if he doesn't work on his physique, telling you, he gonna be in big trouble. Dude has to work on his physique ASAP. Yeah, he needs to work on his physique ASAP, man. He doesn't. It's gonna be bad for him. Who else we had fight this weekend? I'm missing out on. Oh yeah, Ariate. He looked good this weekend. Didn't fight a good name like that, but Rashidi Ellis, he looked good this weekend. Yeah, shout out to Rashidi Ellis. I'm glad he got a fight in. Wasn't able to catch it, but hopefully I can go back and look at it again. Cause I saw like little highlights here and there, but wasn't able to watch the whole thing. Yeah, I saw little highlights here and there, but definitely didn't catch the whole thing, which was a huge letdown. Yeah, it was a lot of fights on this weekend though. Yeah, it was a lot of fights. Trying to see if I missed any names. Hey, Box Break haven't updated their results yet. Oh yeah, Nicky, I forgot he fought this weekend. Of course, Keon Davis, Keyshawn brother, he looks good in the ring. I think he's gonna be a good fighter at 47. I think he's a very good fighter. People definitely sleeping on him. I thought he was a short fighter though. When I seen him in the amateur, I was like, that dude's 6'3", man. 6'3" at 47? That is crazy. Dude is tall for 47. 6'3" is insane. Eventually he'll be a 54, but 6'3" is crazy for that weight class. And then Ali Walsh went in there, took a beating. Yeah, a lot of fans thought Ali Walsh lost. Yeah, they thought he lost. He only won 2 rounds. Yeah, man, a lot of these guys struggling right now. Yeah, you gotta stay in the gym, man. Can't cut no corners. And that guy Ali Walsh fought, he was good too. I knew he wasn't gonna be an easy fight. Oh, Juan Lopez, he looked good too. I seen him fight. But yeah, Melanicki, he had a tough fight, man, with Corey. I thought he was able to pull that off, but they gave it a draw. Yeah, I thought he won that fight. They gave it a draw. I was surprised. Definitely was surprised it was a draw. Very surprised it was a draw, to be honest with you. I was very surprised it was a draw. He said, get in shape. Other memberships are more expensive. I used to get those restart for free. Should have took advantage. Everything you want. Yeah, it does. Yeah, everything costs now, man. Everything is pay to play now. Yeah, everything is pay to play. I mean, everything. They not wasting time with anything no more. They making everybody pay for everything now. They are not wasting time. If you want to sit up here and get in the best shape and get those memberships, you gotta pay. Yeah, they used to have those college discounts where, like, if you was in school or something, they'll give it to you for free membership. They don't do those no more. Yeah, they used to do those, but slowing down on it now. Yeah, they used to do those, but they don't do it anymore. I don't know why though. Yeah, they used to do those, but they don't do them anymore. But it was a good weekend of boxing, man. It really was. A lot of people got caught off surprise by how Keyshawn looked. I know Duarte caught people off guard with that knockout. But he was still getting touched up badly. But I think he went out there for the stoppage, though. He can't fight a lot of other fighters like that. But he was the first guy to stop Mariano, so that does mean something. But comparing that performance to Keyshawn, nah, two different fighters. Two different fighters, two different weight classes, two different styles. If that's the case, put him in there with Keyshawn and with Ryan Garcia. I bet he would have took that fight. He said he wanted to fight Ryan. Yeah, he would have fought Ryan already. And Duarte, he already has what, 2 losses? Who was the other guy he lost to? Oh, Estrella. At what weight class was that at? What weight class he fought Estrella at? 35. Yeah, he looked strong at 140. He fought Ryan at 143 though. Dude, stay fighting people at 143, man. He dragged Duarte from 35 to 143. That's funny. Yeah, Duarte had no business being in the ring with him at 143. He said, if you could choose an era, which would you choose? I chose 2000s, had basic technology, DVD, better horror movies. The 80s. The 80s had the best. Bro, the 80s got the best horror movies. Everything we watch now on TV is copied from the 80s. I would say 2000s, but a lot of stuff was copied from that happened in 2000s. DVDs was out in the 80s. I think DVDs was out in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, DVDs was made in 1995. Yeah, my uncle had it, man. My uncle had a DVD long time ago. Really, they had, cause they had something called video CDs in the 80s. But yeah, I think the 80s was about probably the best time. Most of the games people play these days, like Mario and all that stuff, that was in the 80s. Stuff was out in the 80s. We got it in the 90s, but it was already out in the 80s. You got to be super rich to get it back then. But yeah, they had some thing called video CDs that was out in 87. Then Laser CD that was out in 1978. Yeah, these people know what they be doing. Most of that stuff was already out. When it comes to boxing, 80s was better. When it comes to food, the 80s was better. I would choose the 90s, but you know, that's my era, so I'm kind of cheating on that. But yeah, I think most of those, the 80s was better. Yeah, I definitely feel like the 80s was better. And I'm not being biased either. I just think it was. Yeah, I'm not being biased either. Trust me. I thought about that recently, but something just told me like the 80s is just a lot better. But you know, whatever people feels like is the best, I wouldn't judge them. Yeah, whatever era people feel like is the best. 2000s ain't bad though. 2000s is not bad at all. But if you go back and look at the 80s, man, a lot of this stuff we look at now, like McDonald's and all this stuff, all this stuff came from the 80s. McDonald's was made in 95, but it was really, you can only imagine what the stuff tastes like back then. He said, "Do you think Joshua will ever get his belt back?" Let me see. That's a good question. Joshua getting the belt back. Usyk is gonna be Usyk gonna get rid of his belt next year. Next summer, Usyk gonna retire next summer. He only has 2 fights left. Yeah, I can see Joshua getting the belt back if he's gonna hang in there. But he gotta start fighting real competition though. As you get older, the best thing Joshua can do right now is have activity. I think Eddie Hearn ruined Joshua's career more than anybody else. Eddie Hearn did a number on Joshua's career. I think he really did. Because if you go back and look at Joshua when he was fighting Ruiz, he just got caught in a crazy fight around that time. And then even around when he fought Usyk. Joshua looked good the second time he fought Usyk when he had Robert Garcia, but I think he put too much thought into getting a trainer. He was trying to get a perfect trainer around that time. I don't know if Eddie Hearn had a big input on it, but Joshua he could have did a good job sticking with Robert Garcia, someone like that, but yeah, a lot of these guys, I think the stuff he's trying to do now in his career, he should have been thinking about early on. So it's going to be difficult. It's a slim chance. But yeah, it's possible. It's definitely possible. Depends on what he does, though. He can control that right now. Most heavyweights, everybody not saying that everybody knew Dubois was going to be in this position and you got to fight tough competition to get back on top, but well, you have to fight tough competition, what I'm saying. Not to prepare yourself. Everybody doesn't have to do it because some guys are ready already. But Joshua, he got to prepare himself. You can't keep taking these long layoffs and waiting back. I was trying to warn people last year when I was putting out videos. They thought I was trolling. But Joshua fighting Ngannou was one of the worst things he could have done. He didn't look good in the Helenius fight. He took some bad shots, but Helenius was on the juice. But still, he was taking some bad shots. And the Otto Wallin fight, it was what it was. But I thought Joshua could have did a lot better when it came to other fights he had lined up. Like the Jermaine Franklin, when he had that fight. That was a tough fight. Franklin came to fight. But ever since then, he started taking his foot off the gas, and I think he was thinking more so of trying to get a title fight than actually trying to improve. Some guys, they fight to improve, and some guys fight to look good. 2 different kind of boxers out here right now. It's everybody else's job to figure out who's in that position, but I feel like when Jared Anderson, he was fighting to look good instead of fighting to improve himself. That's kind of how I felt. Because Jared Anderson could have really did himself a favor and Joshua as well with the fight they took last year, and I'll say the year before that, but it didn't really help. Yeah, because he fought Charles Martin. Charles Martin 2023. Then he came back and fought at Bridgerweight last year. I thought when he fought that Bridgerweight guy last year, Riyad Murray, he's not a bad fighter, but dude is a career cruiserweight. He's only like 5'11". That's not a fight you take to where you want to put yourself in the next level. These heavyweights, they can't be cutting corners. That's all it is. You can't cut corners anymore. Really got to fight some tough competition, especially if you're not self-motivated. In the gym, you got to challenge yourself somehow. You got to get better in the ring during the fight or in the gym. And as you seen, I seen Dubois the last year and a half, 2 years. Dude been in the gym, man. Dubois stays in the gym. After he beat Anthony Joshua, what was Danny Dubois? Working on his punches in the gym. These guys gotta work on them, work on their technique. Look at Moses Otama in the gym. Sometimes these guys are sparring too much. They're not getting better. But you can't spar all these tough guys, and a lot of fighters too. I've noticed they're fighting better fighters in sparring than they are actually in the ring. I have noticed that. So I don't know, man. It all depends. And then you gotta love boxing too. Does Joshua love boxing the way he used to? Seems super relaxed going into that Dubois fight. A lot of these guys gotta have that confidence. So I don't know, man. Joshua and Jared Anderson, they gotta have that confidence going into these fights. I think he lost a lot of confidence. Even when he knocked out Ngannou, it was kind of like, yeah, I knocked him out, so what? When he knocked out Otto Wallin, it was like, and then I thought he had a lot of confidence in that Otto Wallin fight. I really did. I thought Joshua had plenty of confidence going into that fight. Yeah, I thought he had plenty of confidence going into that fight, but he hasn't looked the same since. And that was a good fight for him. Yeah, that was a very good fight for Joshua. But I don't know if he got better fighting these people. And then Eddie Hearn doesn't really want to stick him in the ring with anybody. And Piccoli's a guy he sparred plenty of times. But the person that he's right now, let me see what Eddie Hearn's talking about. Oh, so okay. So right now they're saying Eddie Hearn is saying that Joshua could still jump in the mix to fight Dubois or Parker. Yeah, they telling him to fight Dubois or Parker, so we'll see what happens this weekend. I think they expecting him to get knocked out this weekend. Danny Dubois, so if Danny Dubois loses, you possibly can see Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua in the fight. You probably could see that rematch happen. What are we in February? Possibly could see that rematch happening. Oh yeah, all right. Shout out to you, Turkey. That was up. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I worked nights for years, bro. So I already know. I gotta start doing more of these. I'm gonna start doing more of them. I used to watch podcasts at night around this time, so I know how it feels. Shout out to Dry Turkey, man, out there working late. Get that work in, bro. Be safe out there. You know how them people be in the warehouse, man. They be acting crazy at night. But yeah, man, boxing is starting to line up right now. It is no joke right now. It is starting to line up perfectly. A lot of people don't understand that. We're like, even right now, I can't really even try to put no fights together because boxing is moving so fast right now. You don't really have to do that. Everything's already lined up. All we have to do now is just sit back and talk about it. They're gonna have a fight come on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So that's how many days in a row? Wednesday, Thursday. That's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So that's 6 days in a row that we're gonna have a fight. So I'm gonna do a preview tomorrow for the fights that come on this weekend with Beterbiev and Bivol. So expect me to have a long preview breakdown tomorrow. I'm gonna look at some things tonight. Still kind of iffy about this Cavalier and Zhang fight, so I'm gonna have to check that out. Definitely gonna have to figure it out, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough next couple of months, man. A lot of guys are definitely gonna be put in position where they gotta stand up and do what they say they would. It's not gonna be much talking going on. You see, it's not too much calling out. Guys calling each other out. It's not too much of that going on anymore. I think we're past the point of calling people out now. At this point now, they just want to make the fights. They saying that Moses Thomas gonna replace Usyk. Hold on, let me look at something real quick. Hey, it got some big news I want to look at real quick. Let me look at something real quick. He said, let me listen to this real quick. Said main reason for Tyson's reason for retiring, but Fox claimed that it's actually Fury's anger after losing to Usyk again. He has retired because deep down, you know, he probably passed his best and lost 2 fights. And I personally know he is someone close to his team, and he's really frustrated and pissed off that he lost the rematch. But he did lose, lost finish. I told everybody, man. They talking about Tyson Fury is retired because he pissed off about the decision in the Usyk fight. I told people, man, this dude, man, I would have made Fury fight Joshua some way, bro. I would have found a way for Joshua to fight Fury some way. I definitely would have found a way. They gonna regret having those two guys fight Ngannou. I promise. I kept telling people, I'm like, why are y'all doing this fight right now? They should have just let Wilder fight Ngannou, but they wanted to sit up here and embarrass Wilder, have him fight two guys when they know he should have a tune. If anybody should have had a tune-up, it should have been Wilder. The reason for not Usyk, but Fury and Joshua to fight Ngannou and Otto Wallin, and it was a waste. I was like, why are they doing this? It doesn't make sense. Trying to be nasty, man, and backfire. That's what happens. That never works in boxing. That never works. Trust me. I've been watching boxing for years, trying to set guys up to get embarrassed and beat up. It's only gonna backfire. And he said and hold on, let me see this. He's made a serious amount of money. He doesn't need money to fight. See, I'm saying, that's why I was saying, people tell me, he'll fight for the money. No, he's not, bro. I'm telling you, these people don't know these fighters. They don't know these fighters like they think they do. Tyson Fury is not finna come back and fight for money. He's made enough money to where, and he's not doing it for the fans. That's what I'm saying, bro. They celebrating guys who don't fight for the fans. They don't fight for the love of the sport. They don't fight for the fans. Guys cannot take losses. Fans be trolling certain fighters who lose, and they don't even realize that these guys are losing because they're taking fights when they're not even supposed to, and still going out and taking the fight because of the fans and the love of the sport. This is why I get irritated with the boxing fans. They act like they knew Tyson Fury was going to fight this man Joshua. And it wasn't a guarantee this man was going to fight him. He had to come out and win the last fight. Even if he would have won the last fight, they would have asked Usyk, hey, can you fight him again? Was it just a big waste of time? They think heavyweight boxing is easy. That's what a lot of people think. They think heavyweight boxing is easy. The narratives is running out. I think the fight this weekend is going to be good, but they think heavyweight boxing is easy, though. That's what kind of offended me the most as a boxing fan over the years. I'm telling you, the way I was hearing people talk about Wilder's performances over the years, I'm like, bro, y'all think this is easy. They said his resume is not that good. Man, you people gonna realize these guys ain't been fighting who they thought they would. Let me see something. I think a degenerate pastor, he's all the things. Hmm. A lot of people don't think Usyk's still an all-time great. I mean, what else he needs to do? They putting guys in front of him that they said are all-time greats. That's crazy. I feel like a lot of people diminish what Usyk has done. If I was Usyk, I would be like, man, y'all saying I'm not an all-time great. There's nobody else I can really beat to prove anything. So let me just go down and cruiserweight or do whatever I need to. If it's nothing that Usyk can do at heavyweight to make people think he's an all-time great, I think they wasting everybody's time. Or they just favoring certain people over the others. But I don't think Usyk is getting the same kind of praise as a lot of other guys at heavyweight. And that's sad when you really think about it. Dude definitely not getting praised like he should. It doesn't bother me because it kind of diminishes what the guys who he fought have done in their careers. So when they look back on history, they're gonna say the only good heavyweight they had in 2004, 2005 was Usyk. That was about it. So he didn't really fight any competition. So the fact that they're saying that, yeah, that's not good for the sport. I'm not gonna lie. Sport of boxing is way better than that. We got a lot of talent in boxing. A lot of talent. The reason why they just don't feel like this era is that good because a lot of people aren't fighting each other. That's the only reason why. Oh yeah, they were talking about these 15-round fights. They were talking about breaking these 15-round fights, but let me see. WBC talking about they don't want to changing. He said boxing would not change for the popularity of some. I mean, if everybody was clean in boxing, we wouldn't have no problem putting together 15-round fights. I think 15-round fights for undisputed fights is actually good. If everybody's clean in boxing, you're not really gonna have too much of a problem. And it's an undisputed fight. Make it a 13-round fight. It needs to be an even number. So we ain't gotta get caught up in these rematches. We have too many fights to make to have so many rematches going on in boxing. That's the only thing that bothers me. It's like, and I told people this last year, but they ain't understand. They understand it now. Trust me. With the way I'm seeing things right now, they're understanding now. They definitely understand where I'm coming from now with what I was saying last year. These rematches was a setback. Tyson, it was two things I didn't like: Fury and Joshua fighting Ngannou, and the rematches. That definitely ruined a lot of great fights. That definitely ruined a lot of great fights. We might not never see Joshua and Fury again. I don't think the fight's gonna happen. This dude is really upset about that decision, man. He said Ali Walsh glad the guy won. Yeah, I thought he was gonna put some things together, but man, Ali Walsh went out there and dropped the ball, man. He went out there and dropped the ball. I ain't gonna lie, I had a feeling he was gonna lose the fight. Not because he's bad, a bad fighter or anything. I just had a feeling he was gonna lose the fight. Been tiptoeing through competition a little bit. And then the last guy he fought, he had those pillow gloves. Man, that last guy he had with those big old gloves. After I seen that, I said, man, he's gonna struggle. You can't fight a guy with big gloves like that to survive. Just doesn't make any sense in the world. I'm glad that recent guy would be yeah, that guy, I'm not gonna rule in his favor because of who he is. Yeah. He that guy he fought with those gloves the last fight. Man, that guy he fought last time had some big gloves. And he was whooping on him too. I don't think the power is the issue. More than anything, I think that his development, he's like a late bloomer. He was doing decent in the amateurs, but he's a late bloomer, man. He has a lot of trouble against any kind of competition where guys is fighting back. Anybody with a little bit of power gives him a lot of trouble. That's where his problem goes or comes from. Anybody with a little bit of power gives him so much trouble. So much trouble. He's fighting some low competition too. He only has 11 fights. And the guy he fought last, that was the person he was supposed to beat. He was supposed to beat that last guy. And for him not to be able to go do it, very disappointing. Very disappointing. It's gonna be hard to matchmake for him in the future. I mean, who can they get next for him to fight? At that point, he's gonna be fighting guys with 20 losses next. It's gonna be hard to matchmake for him. Yeah, they tried to do what they could, but it's gonna be tough. He a fighter though. If he love fighting, he gonna be able to bounce back. But yeah, to have 2 losses already is definitely a setback. At least he ain't get knocked out, but that could have been worse. But yeah, I didn't like his last performance with the dark skinned guy with the big gloves. That was a red flag for me. I said if he's struggling with this guy, he's gonna have trouble when he fights a very tough fighter. When he has somebody in there who's really punching back, he's gonna be in trouble. And he's not a big guy for that weight class. He's very small. Doesn't really have a style that's still a young guy, but really doesn't have a style that's really that good. Yeah, the guy he fought last, man, he had those big gloves. And that dude was in there trying to knock him out. Yeah, that guy was in there trying to knock him out. That was a tough fight too. Yeah, he could have took 2 losses to the last guy he fought. Before that, I mean the guy he lost to the first time, he could have had 2 losses to him. He kind of slipped out with a victory over him the last time. But man, dudes better get in the gym, man. All that hitting the pad stuff, man, they need to work on their body and everything. Guys need to be in the weight room early in the morning. In the afternoon, they need to be drilling and working on some things as far as jabs and head movement and your legs, everything you can kind of control. One thing you can't control in boxing, you can't be the most talented guy, but you can control your stamina. Anything in combat sports, bro, the first thing you need to be able to do is outwork a man. You might not be the fastest puncher, you might not be the hardest puncher, but you can outwork a man in boxing. If you look at all the best boxers, they always outwork their opponents. They didn't rely on their talent. A lot of these guys these days, they rely on their talent. They loading up on every punch. They stand in front of guys. They dropping their hands low like they Roy Jones Jr. You know, a lot of guys trying to fight like they're better than what they are, and they're not respecting their opponents like they should be. Not respecting their opponents. That's one thing I have noticed. Been a lot of opponents getting disrespected on a lot of these undercards, and people been getting smashed lately. These promoters ain't playing, man. They putting you in the real top fighters. They're not playing. Or the guy's better than what you've been fighting. They're gonna push, they're gonna make the competition a lot tougher. And then in top rank, they got some of the best matchmakers, so if you can't cut it over there, you're not gonna be able to go over there with Eddie Hearn and do that. Yeah, you can't do that with Eddie Hearn. I seen recently he put some guys in there with some tough opponents. He'll give you a little tune up after a loss or something, but after that, he gonna put you right back in there with a tough fighter. So it's up to these fighters to make things happen. You definitely do not want to wait around and try to fight a tough guy at the last minute and go get embarrassed. I'm telling you. That's why with Jared Anderson now trying to fight these guys who about around the same size as him. And the guy he fought last was only like 230. I'm thinking this guy's like 250. That guy was 230. If he would have fought Wilder at 230, he would have had some issues. Yeah, I can't believe he struggled with that guy. Well, I can because guy did come to fight. He about almost 6'4". Yeah, that guy being 230. Let me look at a copy box for him too as well. See if they got one up here. I just want to see something. Oh, they got a copy box up here for him and Martin Bakole. Let me see. Jared Anderson was throwing a jab against Bakole. He doing a good job with the jab. in the first 3 rounds, I would say. But he made a mistake though, trying to go power punch for power punch. Yeah, Jared Anderson had a good round in the 20th round. I mean the third, I said 20th round. The third round, he had 20 punches. Basically body punches, hooks. Hooks upstairs, uppercuts. Yeah, he got back to the 4th round and start boxing trash, man. I thought physically he was in decent shape, but I don't know. I thought he would have been able, but standing in front of these guys, not using your feet, sad, man. Got to be able to make something happen. They better figure it out soon because it get any easier. I was surprised too. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this Hackett and Brian Norman Sr. fight. I was surprised that a lot of people checked out the Hackett and Brian Norman Sr. fight this weekend. As many people as a lot of people didn't really pay for it because these guys are cheap. They do all that, all these people, and I'm disappointed too, man. Not really surprised because a lot of these dudes was hating this weekend on the Brian Norman Sr. and the Greg Hackett fight. Everybody talking about, man, Hackett got 23 losses, man. But you still watch the fight though on Saturday. All them fights that was on Saturday and UFC fights. That's how you know these dudes don't be watching boxing. They just be tuning in to hate on somebody. All them fights that was on this weekend. And they tuned in to that fight just to hate. I wasn't surprised by that. That's how they are, man. These people do not congratulate. They'll hate, but they ain't gonna congratulate nobody. But what goes around definitely comes around. It's gonna be one day where they have their own offspring or children in a position where they trying to get people to support, and you to put so much negative energy into the atmosphere that it's gonna be hard for somebody else to support you or your own. People don't think the world works like that. Trust me. The fact that negativity is becoming normal and it's actually getting congratulated. And then I just got off of Twitter. They out here pushing racism on Twitter. I seen somebody talking about this dude Kobe out here dead right now. They out here talking about Kobe taking a sex charge from old girl. It had like 100,000 likes. Man, then somebody said, didn't Kobe? They were showing a highlight of LeBron and somebody retweeted it like, didn't Kobe go, did he grape a girl? I'm like, really? That's what's going on Twitter? That's what gets you 100,000 likes? No wonder Teofimo and all these dudes talking like this in boxing. No wonder you got all these haters. They actually out here promoting hate. Think about that. They actually out here promoting hate. So when you have trouble with a bully at school, guess what? They done made this normal out here. I mean, ain't nobody trying to make the world a better place no more. I mean, this is crazy. They using boxing as like a dart game. They just want to throw darts at boxing all day with their depression. I mean, I've never seen so much negativity for a small town fight in my life. But I enjoyed the fight though. I liked it. But I'm glad I seen what I seen yesterday because that definitely helped expose a lot of fake fans out here. That's why I be trolling like I do. I'm like, man, I can't believe they going out here, dudes out here having some of the best opportunities to go out here and fight. They family tuning in and everything. You got same people that be in the chat every night hating on them. It don't get any more evil than that. But yeah, that was a good fight, man. It really was. It had to be a good fight because it's still being talked about all over the internet. Yeah, it definitely was a good fight. Yeah, I was highly impressed by the fight, performance and everything around it. Yeah, I was like, man. But yeah, Brian Norman came out to fight last night, man. He put on a very good performance. I was surprised by the stamina, but the power and everything else, nah. Came in good shape too. Greg Hackett as well, he showed up. He let his hands go. I don't think people gave him credit for that. He was letting his hands go. The punches he was throwing they had some smoke on it. He had a good right hand he landed, good left hook. Yeah, I gotta give him credit for that. He way better than what his records say. All them dudes that were talking trash, y'all can pull up for a sparring match. Ain't nobody pulling up for no sparring matches talking about somebody trash. Ain't nobody pulling up for no sparring matches. That's what I noticed. I'm like, man, all these people talking could have pulled up for a sparring match, especially if you're in the city. If you're in Philly, you could have been pulled up for a sparring match. These dudes out here hating, man. Ignore these guys. They just fans. But that was a good fight, man. I'm glad I tuned in and watched that and supported it. It feels good when you can support something that means something. It definitely does. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for coming through. I'm gonna jump back on here tomorrow. I was just doing a little. I don't know if Darius still in here. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. A good weekend of Boston's. Next couple of weeks is gonna be very good. But Monday, Tuesday, those are gonna be 2 days without boxing. After that, back to Boston again on Wednesday. So probably gonna get these fights out of the way as far as the breakdowns before those days come. But I appreciate everybody for coming through supporting.